My name is Syra. This story belongs to me. It is filled with sorrow, built on love that never was, and constructed from lies I believed were truth. This is about a man named Reman. Two women gave him their hearts. I was one of them. My life was beautiful once. I lived in a comfortable home where sunlight poured through every window. My family cherished me. Friends surrounded me with laughter. Music filled our mornings. Happiness seemed like my permanent companion. Every day felt like a gift. Reman was the man I loved. He stood tall, with features that made people turn and look. His smile could light up the darkest room. Everyone who met him felt drawn to his charm. Even my parents approved of him completely. He spoke constantly about our shared future, painting pictures of a life together. We planned to marry when the roses bloomed in spring. One Sunday afternoon, we gathered for a family meal. My mother prepared her special dishes. My father brewed fresh coffee. Reman sat beside me at the table, his fingers intertwined with mine. His touch felt warm and protective.
The spring wedding will be perfect,
like a blanket.
Reman announced to my parents.
Will be perfect.
My mother's face
Reman
glowed with
announced to my
joy.
parents.
My father
My
nodded his
face
blessing.
glowed with joy.
I gazed at
My
Reman,
father
my
nodded his
heart
blessing.
swelling with emotion.
I gazed at
He
Reman,
seemed
my heart
flawless in
swelling
every
with
way.
emotion.
I
He
truly
seemed
believed I had
flawless in
found
every way.
perfection.
I truly
After our
believed
meal,
I
we
had
strolled
found
through the
perfection.
garden. Brilliant
After our
sunshine
meal, we strolled
bathed
through the
everything
garden.
in golden light.
Brilliant sunshine
Birds created
bathed
melodies
everything
in the
in golden
branches
light.
above.
Birds
Flowers
created
displayed their
melodies in the
colors
branches
proudly.
above.
The world
Flowers
felt
displayed their
magical.
colors proudly.
Reman
The
stopped
world
walking
felt
and turned
magical.
to face me.
Reman
I have
stopped
brought you
walking
something
and turned
special,
to face me.
he said softly.
I have brought you
From his
something
pocket,
special,
he produced
he
a
said
small
softly.
velvet box.
From his pocket, he
Inside
produced
rested
a
an
small
antique
velvet
watch,
box.
crafted from
Inside
gleaming
rested
gold.
an antique watch,
The weight of its
crafted
value
from
was
gleaming
evident.
gold.
Oh,
The weight
Reman,
of its
I
value
whispered.
was evident.
This is
Oh,
exquisite.
Reman,
He
I
fastened
whispered.
it around
This
my
is
wrist
exquisite.
carefully. The
He
metal
fastened
felt
it around my
substantial
wrist
against my
carefully.
skin, but
The
I
metal
treasured
felt
it
substantial
immediately.
against my skin,
Now you
but
will
I
always
treasured it
remember
immediately.
something important,
Now
he
you
said,
will always
kissing my
remember
forehead
something
gently.
important, he
You
said,
will know that I
kissing my
always
forehead
have
gently.
time for you.
You will
That
know
moment
that I
felt
always have
sacred.
time for you.
I considered
That
myself the
moment felt
luckiest woman
sacred.
alive.
I
I
considered
believed
myself the
Reman
luckiest
belonged
woman
only
alive.
to me,
I
that his
believed
heart beat
Reman
solely
belonged
for our
only to
future
me,
together.
that his heart
How
beat solely for our
spectacularly
future
wrong
together.
I was.
How
That same Sunday
spectacularly wrong
evening,
I
events
was.
unfolded
That
that I knew
same
nothing
Sunday
about.
evening,
I
events
would only
unfolded
discover the
that I
truth
knew
much
nothing
later,
about.
when
I would only discover the
I
truth
returned
much
home that
later,
night,
when
read
everything had
quietly,
already
admired
shattered.
my
I
new
returned
watch,
home that
and
night,
dreamed about
read
wedding
quietly,
preparations.
admired my
Sleep
new
came
watch,
easily,
and dreamed
wrapped
about
in
wedding
contentment.
preparations.
But Reman
Sleep
did
came
not go
easily,
to his home.
wrapped in
Instead,
contentment.
he drove
But
across the
Reman
city
did
to a
not go
different
to his
address,
home.
to
Instead,
another
he
woman
drove
whose
across the
existence
city
I
to a
could
different
not have
address,
imagined.
to
Her
another
name
woman
was
whose
Zainab.
existence I could not
Zainab's
have
apartment
imagined.
stood in
Her
stark
name was
contrast to
Zainab.
my bright, spacious
Zainab's
home.
apartment stood
She
in
lived
stark
in shadowed
contrast to
rooms
my
where
bright,
light struggled
spacious
to
home.
enter.
She
Rain
lived in
tapped
shadowed
against her
rooms
windows
where
that
light
evening.
struggled to
Silence
enter.
filled her
Rain
small
tapped
space.
against her windows
She
that
preferred
evening.
quietness,
Silence
found
filled her
comfort
small
in
space.
solitude.
She
A knock
preferred
interrupted
quietness,
her peace.
found comfort
Opening
in
the
solitude.
door, she found
A
Reman
knock
standing
interrupted
there,
her peace.
exhaustion evident
Opening the
in
door,
every
she
line
found
of his
Reman
face.
standing there.
His shoes carried
Exhaustion
mud,
evident
a
in
fresh
every
cut
line
marked
of
his
his
hand.
face. His
Zainab
shoes carried
asked
mud.
no
A
questions.
fresh cut marked
Questions
his
were not
hand.
part of their
Zainab
relationship.
asked no
She
questions.
took his coat,
Noticed
noticed
his
his
not
disheveled
part of their
state,
relationship.
and immediately
She took
began
his
caring
coat,
for him.
noticed his
She brought
disheveled
water
state,
and cloth,
and immediately
cleaning his
began
shoes
caring
with
for
gentle
him.
movements.
She brought water
Sit,
and cloth,
she said
cleaning
quietly.
his shoes
I
with
will
gentle
prepare tea for
movements.
you.
Sit,
Reman
she said
sank onto
quietly.
her
I
worn
will
sofa
prepare
in the
tea
cold
for you.
room.
Reman
Zainab
sank
returned
onto
with
her
steaming
worn
tea,
sofa in the
which he
cold
drank
room.
slowly,
Zainab
gratefully.
returned with
She
steaming
settled beside
tea,
him
which
without
he
speaking,
drank slowly,
simply
gratefully. She settled beside him without speaking, simply waiting. You understand my silence, Reman finally said. No one else in this world understands the way you do. Zainab smiled softly, touching his face with tenderness. Her love for him ran deep. perhaps deeper than she admitted even to herself. She knew her position in his life. She understood that she remained his secret, someone he never acknowledged publicly, never introduced to anyone, never took into the daylight. She stayed hidden in the shadows. But this did not trouble her. She believed love required privacy, that the outside world was too harsh and judgmental, that Raymond needed her sanctuary. She convinced herself that she alone saw his authentic self. That night, Raymond remained in Zainab's apartment. Darkness surrounded them. She held him close, experiencing both happiness and sadness simultaneously. She never asked where else he went, never questioned what other life he led beyond her door. The following morning, I woke to sunshine. I remained oblivious. I purchased bridal magazines, studied dress designs, selected flower arrangements, and planned every detail of our spring wedding. Happiness radiated from me. Rahman was mine, completely and only mine. Zainab cleaned her apartment, washed Rahman's teacup, and waited patiently for his next visit. She believed herself special, the one woman who truly mattered to him. Two women existed in parallel worlds. One dwelled in brilliant light, the other lived in persistent shadow. Both loved the same man with complete devotion. Both were tragically mistaken about everything. This was merely the beginning. The worst destruction still lay ahead. 2 months passed quickly. Then came an evening that seemed beautiful but carried hidden darkness. Rahman planned an elaborate night. "We are attending an important charity gala," he announced. "Influential people will attend. Wear your finest dress." Excitement consumed me. I purchased a stunning blue gown that flowed elegantly. The event took place at a grand hotel. Cameras flashed everywhere. Journalists lined the entrance. Wealthy guests arrived in expensive cars, all smiles and glamour. Inside, lights sparkled magnificently. Music filled the ballroom. Rahman held my arm proudly, greeting everyone with confident charm. Photographers captured our images together. Pride swelled inside me. I stood beside the perfect man, and the entire world witnessed our happiness.
"Look at this watch," Raymond said, gesturing to my wrist. "Tonight will remain in our memories forever." Romance filled his words. We danced, conversed with important people, and basked in the attention. Raymond knew everyone, introducing me repeatedly as his future wife. People congratulated us. Women told me how fortunate I was. I agreed wholeheartedly. Throughout the evening, Raymond checked his phone frequently, glancing at the time repeatedly. "Is something wrong?" I asked with concern. "Nothing at all," he assured me quickly. Then suddenly, he stopped dancing. "I must make an urgent call," he explained. "A client needs immediate assistance. Just 5 minutes. Wait here for me." I nodded without suspicion. He disappeared into the crowd while I chatted with friends about wedding plans, laughing and celebrating. Raymond returned shortly. "All finished," he said, smiling, but his smile appeared strained. His hands felt cold. We continued dancing. I thought nothing of his absence, unaware of what those 5 minutes truly meant, ignorant of the message he sent, oblivious to the money being transferred, blind to the death his actions caused. That evening, I became his alibi. I was his proof of innocence. Everyone saw us together constantly. Later, I would tell authorities with absolute certainty that he never left my side. I spoke truth as I knew it, but the truth remained incomplete. The gala ended late. Raymond drove me home and kissed me goodnight. "Thank you," he said softly. "For what?" I asked, confused. "For being exactly who you are." I went inside, tired but glowing with happiness, reviewing photographs before sleeping peacefully. But Raymond did not return to his home. Once again, he drove across the city to Zainab's apartment. Much later, I learned what happened next.
Zainab was sleeping when knocking woke her. The hour was extremely late. Opening her door, she found Rahman looking terrible. His face held no color. His hands trembled uncontrollably. Fear radiated from him. "What has happened?" she asked, alarmed. He entered carrying a large bag. "I need your help desperately," he said, his voice barely audible. She had never seen him this frightened. "What is inside that bag?" "Work materials," he answered too quickly. "Documents, equipment. I need to hide them temporarily. Please, Zainab." Something felt wrong. Her instincts screamed warnings, but love overpowered caution. Fear of losing him silenced her questions. "All right," she whispered, taking the heavy bag and placing it in her closet without looking inside. She chose ignorance over truth. Rahman collapsed onto her sofa, face buried in his hands. Then Zainab noticed his shirt. A dark red stain marked the sleeve. Wine, perhaps, or blood. She did not ask. Instead, she took the shirt and washed it in her sink. Water turned pink, then deep red, then gradually clear. Her hands shook throughout. She knew this was dangerous, knew she was crossing a terrible line, but said nothing. After drying the shirt, she returned it to him. "You save me," he said, looking at her with desperate gratitude. That night, sleep would not come to Zainab. She stared at her closet, thinking about the bag, the stain, and Rahman's terror. She knew something horrible had occurred, but she did not contact police. She did not demand explanations. Fear paralyzed her. Fear of truth, fear of losing him, fear of facing reality. Two women on that same night. One danced at an elegant gala, one washed blood from clothing. Both helped him unknowingly. Both assisted a criminal without understanding. The machinery of deception operated perfectly, and we were essential components in his terrible design.